I want to show you guys a video of Elon Musk speaking about his Neuralink chip and how this chip is going to be able to provide Jesus-like miracles for individuals that get this in their brain, okay? And not only that, he gets asked about the humanoid robots, and he speaks about how life is going to be once robots completely take over the job force, okay? I want to show you those clips because it brings an interesting question that I've seen across the internet is how are people going to earn money, okay? And this is a question that we have to talk about today. All right, let's hop in these videos, watch them and react to them. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's hop in.
Some kind of brain-machine interface that can give you cybernetic superpowers, I think is probably good. It could, help people that have brain or spine injuries, enable people who've never spoken for years to speak again, which we've done. Give people eyesight who have lost both eyes or the optic nerve, or maybe have never even seen at all, blind from birth. By direct interface to the optical centers in the brain, you can actually restore eyesight or give people eyesight that they've never had before. And you can enable people to walk again, which I think is profound. I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, let's say like when technologies are hitting like Jesus level miracles, that's pretty good.
Yeah. How do you, again, it's asked a lot, but it's fun to ask it to you. How do you prioritize? I mean, because you're right, you've got multiple deities here if these are Jesus level solutions.
Yeah.
Which one do you serve?
All right, I'm gonna show you guys this video of someone who already received the Neuralink chip inside of his brain and how he's able to interact with things after this chip. I just want to say this real quick though, that although he's saying, he's boasting of Jesus level miracles, Jesus never had to put anything inside of anyone to get them to see or to restore whatever the case may be, whether it was someone who was lame and couldn't walk, someone who couldn't hear, someone who couldn't see, someone who was bleeding for 18 years. All Jesus had to do was give a command. And so as much as we can try to imitate Jesus level miracles, there's never going to be anyone that can perform what Jesus has done. Just want to say that real quick. And Jesus is still doing these miracles. Jesus' miracles are still being done through the hands of the children of God. Okay, but let me show you this guy who already received the Neuralink chip. Let's check it out.
So what can you show us that as a demonstration of what you can now do?
Here we go. This is the Link app. This is how I control everything. This is the app that they've uploaded onto my computer that lets me control the cursor. This is my devotional that I've been reading all the time, every day. And then this is me playing chess.
So wait a minute. You're moving the cursor. You're moving the cursor, Nolan, just by thinking about where you want it to go, or is it your eyes?
No, it's just me thinking about wherever I want it to go.
Oh, man. So yeah, you're not even tracing it with your eyes. You're just looking at it.
Nope. I can move it, and I can move the cursor around, whatever I would like to do. I don't have to be staring at it at all. I mean, it's amazing. There's not even words to describe. Yeah, there's not even words to describe how amazing this tech is. Okay,
so in this individual, he said he was reading a devotional, so he happens to be a believer. This is definitely a situation that is unique for someone who believes in God, and I'm not, I don't have the same problems as him, so I'm not going to try to look at him in a sense of he should never get this. Me personally, I wouldn't have done it, but simply because there's a chance that something can go wrong, right? If it's a chip inside of you and this chip is being controlled, or this chip was created by somebody else and this chip is able to interact with your, like the actual electric, things happening in your brain, then to me, it just seems sketchy. But I pray that everything works out for him with this chip. A lot of people would want to get this chip. Look in the comment section of these videos. A lot of people would want to get a chip for whatever reason, right? We see people getting chips implanted in their arms so that they can pay for things now. This is a real thing. Like, these things are actually happening. Chips are becoming more common to make life easier. Now, that is definitely something to keep caution because we don't want to just be putting a regular, like we don't want to be putting anything in our arms. All right, let's go back to Elon Musk. He's talking about what the world is going to look like for the public and people, families, once these robots are going to, like, you know, officially take over the job market, which is projected in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, or it's going to be more an influx of robots in the next 5 to 10 years.
That no one's going to need to worry about money or work because AI is going to take care of the rest, AI and robotics. What do you mean that people won't have to work in the future?
Assuming the current trend of artificial intelligence and robotics continues, which seems likely, the AI and robots will be able to do anything that humans want them to do, essentially. So hopefully not more than that, but AI and robotics will be able to provide all the goods and services that anyone could possibly want. So,
but you wouldn't need to work? Like, what would you do with your free time?
people will be able to do whatever they want with their free time. Work will be optional. I mean, I just want to separate out from like what I wish would happen versus what I predict will happen, because people get confused about that. They think that what I predict will happen is what I want it to happen. Yeah. What I predict to happen is not the same as what I want to happen. If I could, I would certainly slow down AI and robotics, but I can't.
Here's a clip of him doubling down on his words on the optional work in front of some Saudi Arabia leaders at an investment forum. Okay, let's go ahead and check this one out.
For me, that's long term. My prediction is that work will be optional.
Optional.
Optional. So.
We'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like playing sports or a video game or something like that. If you want to work, in the same way, like you can go to the store and just buy some vegetables, or you could grow vegetables in your backyard. It's much harder to grow vegetables in your backyard, but some people still do it because they like growing vegetables. That will be what work is like, optional. It's kind of interesting. And my guess is, if you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which seems likely, the money will stop being relevant at some point in the future. Currency becomes irrelevant. But AI and humanoid robots will actually eliminate poverty. And Tesla won't be the only one that makes them. I think Tesla will pioneer this, but there will be many other companies that make humanoid robots. But there is only basically one way to make everyone wealthy, and that is AI and robotics.
So he said that everyone's going to be wealthy, and that AI and robotics will eliminate poverty, and that work will be optional, and all of these things will make you think, okay, well, how are people going to earn money, right? If money's going to be irrelevant, like how do you pay for goods and services is the question, right? And this is a question that a lot of people have. I've seen it scrolling through different TikTok videos related to this topic. Many people are wondering, how are you going to actually earn an income? And the most likely scenario is that you won't earn an income, right? Because earning an income would take you doing work. If work is optional and work is being provided by robots that you don't own, right? Robots that are owned by big tech companies, then it seems like there will be some kind of similar to universal health care, universal salaries, universal pay. That just seems like the most likely scenario. Okay, I want to show you a couple of minutes of this video by an individual named Andre Jick. And he's speaking of the current situation of digital ID, digital money, and also with the loss of jobs, and how all of this is correlating to prophecy about not being able to buy and sell unless you receive a mark. Okay. I don't know if he's a Christian or not, but he's correlating this to the word of God. And a lot of people in his comment section also agree that this is where things seem to head. Okay. And I just want to say this is not fear mongering. We know these things are going to happen. But what we're seeing today with the economy, digital IDs, digital money, and also these robots coming in and almost certainly taking a large percentage of jobs, it does seem to align. And that's just the truth. Okay, but let's check out some of this clip and see what he's saying. Let's hop in.
So some people believe that everything that's happening in the world right now was actually predicted thousands of years ago. There's a passage in the Bible written almost 2,000 years ago, Revelation 13, verse 17. It says, "A mark will be required, placed on your right hand or your forehead, and without that mark, you cannot buy and you cannot sell." This is called the mark of the beast. And for most of human history, people assumed that this was just a metaphor from the Bible, kind of symbolic message that ancient texts used to describe power and controls in ways that people could visualize at that time, because obviously nobody could imagine the technology that would make this possible today. But if you're paying attention to the world and everything that's going on today, it almost seems like everything we're watching is part of some manufactured crisis, a transition in human history with a new opportunity to centralize power.
We are now moving from the industrial age to the intelligent age. We are living in the transition to a new time, which will change everything. It will change how we communicate, how we work, how we live. But now in this new age, the base will be knowledge, data, and intelligent insights.
In the modern world, people call this prophecy the digital control grid. And I know how it sounds conspiratorial, but I want to show you some things that are actually happening right now. In 2025, a company co-founded by Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, started deploying a device called the Orb. It's a silver sphere about the size of a bowling ball, and what it does is it scans the iris of your eye to get what's called your biometric signature. It's the one thing about your body that's completely unique to you and can never be changed. Now, in exchange for that scan, you will get something called a World ID, which is a digital proof that you are a real human being. As of right now, over 18 million people have already done this voluntarily. Why would they do that? It's because in a world of AI and robots, how do you prove you're actually a real person? This is how. The World ID is now being integrated into apps like Tinder, DocuSign, Zoom, Shopify, and dozens of other platforms. Sam Altman has said that proof of human will eventually be required by every website, every app, every transaction on the internet.
People are really going to need this and really going to need to do this in a privacy-preserving way. So World ID is our effort at that. And our goal is to make World ID be this new proof of human for the internet.
At the same time, the United States passed something called the Genius Act, which is a law that creates the legal framework for stablecoins, aka digital dollars. And what makes a stablecoin different from the cash in your bank account is that it can be programmed. It can be given rules. Rules about where it can be spent, on what and when it expires, and whether it works outside a certain area. The World Economic Forum is also now arguing that water, soil, and even the air we breathe needs to be assigned a financial value. It needs to have a price, and it needs to be measured.
Now we need to put the economics of water, not only in terms of monetary values, but also in terms of governance, in terms of recognizing water as a commons that we now need to manage as a broad systems approach.
If we're going to protect natural systems, one of the solutions is to bring nature onto the balance sheet, to bring nature into the ways that decisions are made within business, to allocate a value to it and to bring it into accounting and financial mechanisms.
Basically means the air and water should not be freely accessible. They should be a financial asset. And while all of this is happening, there's been a huge build out of cameras, satellites, cell towers, and AI data centers in communities all across the world. Now, some of this framework was brought to light by Catherine Austin Fitts, who used to be the Assistant Secretary of Housing under President Bush. And she talks about a specific plan of how this is going to look like. She says that there's 3 parts that are being built that have never existed before in human history.
So there are 3 sort of pillars that I track. One is the programmable money, and that's what we at Solari are trying to stop. The second is the digital ID, because you need digital ID systems that are interoperable globally. and then the local hardware. And those are sort of the three pillars.
Programmable money, the global digital identity system, and the surveillance hardware to enforce both of those systems. And she says that when all three are complete, the people who control that system, aka the central planners, those people will not need laws to influence society. They're not going to need the police or the courts. If they want you to do something, and for some reason you're not doing it, they'll just turn off some important aspect of our lives. Whether it's the money we use, the IDs we need, or they could just restrict our ability to buy and sell or travel somewhere unless we comply.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
That's why some people believe that this was a prophecy that came from the Bible.
Okay, so I think we heard enough. These are the things that are happening, okay? We just seen King Charles, I believe, and how he is making this digital ID mandatory to be able to use public services or government services. And so I showed a video not too long ago about the world government system being set into place. There's a lot of things happening behind doors. You know what I mean? There's a lot of meetings taking place. There's a lot of things being planned. And it seems like this is the direction that we're heading. Okay. And like the lady said, those three things, digital ID, digital money, and the ability to control those things and see everyone across the world with all of the cameras and different biometric systems being set into place. It would be hard to deny that these are the essential situations that need to occur in order for someone to be punished by not receiving a mark. These things they seem like they are essential to that specific idea. I just wanted to show y'all some of the clips that I've seen of, the things that we've been talking about on this channel, with the mark of the beast and digital IDs and all of that. There's a lot of videos that I left out, a lot of humanoid robot videos. They just completed a 10-hour shift with a humanoid robot in a warehouse, and it was able to compete with humans. So yeah, there's a lot more. I love doing like videos that are praiseworthy. The only problem with that is that there's not a lot right now that's out there because of the news and everything happening. Ebola, hantavirus, this situation. It's just like everywhere you turn, there's a lot of the news isn't the best, right? But we are to be informed about what takes place in the world. So I enjoy doing good, heartwarming, loving videos, but I do believe that these videos are also important so that we are kept aware of the current situations happening in the world. All right. I'm interested to know how you guys feel about this video. Okay. How do you feel about Elon Musk and the Jesus miracles with this chip? Okay. And the direction that we seem to be headed. Let me know in the comment section. Okay. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and hit the post notification bell so you do not miss another video. My name's Aaron Page. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Until next time, I'm out.